Hello everybody, welcome to another video. We've come today down to Bentley Marshes, which is supposedly sort of an area where there's quite a few damselflies and dragonflies sort of popping around at the moment, and quite a lot of butterfly species as well, so we're going to keep a look out for that. But it's also the home of Bentley Viaduct, which is one of only two wrought iron viaducts left in the country, and this one's just been restored, so we're going to take a wander over, so we'll take you with us. So Bentley Viaduct spans the Aerowash Valley, so the Aerowash River, if I can say it, runs underneath it. And originally it was a spur line up to the Nottingham area from sort of Ilkeston and Derby area. Went out of use in the 60s, and originally it was planned for demolition, but because it's wrought iron, it actually worked out to be more expensive to try and destroy it than just to leave it. And even now it's still in great condition and has been restored for people to walk across. So the project to actually restore the viaduct has been run for quite a few years, and there's a lot of heritage, lottery funding and extra funding that's been brought along, which has brought this plan to fruition. Now it opened sort of early part of 2022. It's given us sort of basically the first direct access across for over sort of 50 years. And the views from top are absolutely astounding. You've basically got the old sort of coal loading plant that used to be sort of down below here, looking out that way over towards Eastwood. You've got Cotmanay over that way, sort of Ilkeston over there, but the whole area is generally the giant floodplain underneath, which is why it's ideal for wildlife, which is what we've come out here for. But it's lovely to get a wander across here. Like I say, the old days there was no sort of platforms or anything like that, so if you did want to come up here, it was at your own risk and sort of going across the steel beams. But I think they've done a fantastic job, and yeah, it's really nice to actually get back up here. Now, one of the other reasons for the viaduct being here originally was just down there is the Aerowash Valley Railway, which is still active line today. We'll be crossing that to get back down underneath the viaduct, but the way that they've actually done the restoration is it's very in keeping with the sort of original design. So when we're down there, we're trying to get a shot of the viaduct, and it almost looks exactly the same as it did sort of back in the 1800s when it was built. And we come down to the bottom of this end. I've just spin you around. You've actually got the Aerowash Canal that originally the railway would have gone straight across that way. It's really nice to see. It's a lovely little canal actually. At the other end actually sort of connects up to the Cromford Canal. There are plans afoot to sort of do some restoration work up there as well, but yeah, it is a live active canal, and if we're lucky we might see a couple of boats down here as well. So as you come out of the woodland, sort of round a bit of a path, come underneath the railway and over the river bridge there, takes you over the Aerowash, and sort of a few bridle ways around here and lots of your horse in the field. But over that way is where we need to be. That's where the Benelli Marshes are, so we're going to head that way now. And with the backdrop of the viaduct, we've got Bentley Marshes. Now the whole site is basically on the old coal processing plant, so it's very much a brownfield site, but nature has taken hold, and that's what we're here to explore. So go and take a look. So we've come down to a section in the marshes where it's absolutely ideal sort of conditions for dragonflies and damselflies, and despite the reports of being quite a few around just lately, just can't spot anything at all. Maybe the weather conditions aren't perfect for it, but yeah, it doesn't seem to be a lot around here. I'm not going to give up though. I'm still going to start taking a few of the bits and bobs, because like I said, there's a lot of jackdaws around that could make for an interesting shot, because they're actually sort of nesting up in the eaves of the viaduct. So yeah, there's quite a few of them around, but we'll keep on looking, see what other bits and pieces we can find, and like I say, might have something interesting coming out, because the sun is just starting to break out now, so yeah, we might get lucky. So it's quite possible it might actually be a little bit too early for the damselflies and that, but like I said, we have seen reports that there are some stuff down here, and some butterflies as well, but I don't know, maybe it's just one of those mornings that, yeah, best laid plans and all that, it just never comes to fruition. But yeah, we'll keep on wandering around the lower part of the viaduct, and like I say, something might pop up, you never know. As we get up close to the bases, you can see the reason why it would have been so difficult for them to actually sort of knock this viaduct down. It's not just a case of sort of blowing out a base or something like that. This would have all that's been completely dismantled, essentially rivet by rivet. I'm very glad of that actually, because it's given us a fantastic piece of heritage, you know, spanning the Nottinghamshire and Derbyshire border. Like I say, there's only one other cast iron viaduct in the UK, and yeah, most of them, like I said, they were all sort of, well, in one way or another, sort of destroyed. But it's a great bit of heritage, and it's amazing to see the engineering that's actually gone in to actually making the structures. But yeah, absolutely incredible. And one of the features that they did put in as part of the restoration was this little marker post, which shows you exactly where you stood. On one side it's Nottinghamshire, and on the other side it's Derbyshire, because the Aerowash Valley does cross over between the two. But really interesting site, and probably treat this more as a scouting trip, I think, but just the engineering involved with some of these stanchions, absolutely incredible. So completely by chance and purely random spot as it flew past us, I actually just spotted a damselfly. It landed just long enough to grab a shot, so I'll pop that up now for you. But yeah, looks like the trip wasn't a complete bust after all, but we're going to head up to the old Nottingham Canal now. There's a chance we might spot some bits and bobs up there, because there's quite a bit of fauna and stuff like that there, because obviously it's disused, so yeah, it's an ideal wildlife spot. So I'm going to take a wander up there now, so we'll take you with us. So we're now down on the old Nottingham Canal, and there's loads of wildlife around here, and essentially it's a disused section of the canal. It's still in water, which is ideal for the wildfowl, but there's a lot of other bird life and stuff like that around. Although some of the houses that back on, they've got little feature pieces as well, which is really quite nice. But yeah, we've spotted a few little bits and bobs around, so I'm going to try and get a few shots. If we get lucky, we might see the heron again. We've seen it once, but didn't really get a clean shot of it, but hopefully that'll pop up again. But yeah, we're going to keep on wandering, and hopefully get something interesting. So thing you do turn to find about the section of the Nottingham Canal that's in water is it's actually a haven for wildlife. There's so much along here, not just wildfowl, but so the other birds as well. There's lots of stuff to nest along this sort of area, but do tend to try and sort of avoid the nests as much as possible. We don't really want to disturb them. But there's a section just here, which is part of an old basin, which might see something interesting. So we've even seen things like terrapins along here. So I'm going to take a quick look along there and see what we can see. So that's been quite an interesting trip out. And so we've had quite a few different species around that we've seen. Now if I just spin you around here, just over my shoulder, the heron's just on the hunt, which you might be able to make out. Look there, quite a lot of things that we've seen, and really nice to see a greenfinch up there as well, which is quite unusual around here. But I'm going to head back to the van now for some lunch, but I hope you enjoy this little wander out with us. Like a bit more of a scattered trip than anything, but yeah, things did come good right to the end. But definitely somewhere that we'll go to again, I think. But like I say, if you like the video, please do hit the like button. It really helps me out. And if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you a penny, helps the channel no end. But we'll see you again on the next one, so take care.